We are live. Good morning, John.
Good morning, and good morning, everybody on Facebook. It is Sunday morning, so it is time once more for Sunday Morning Live with John M. and Hillary right over there, and my special guest this morning, the one, the only Jimmy Hunter. We are coming to you, as you can tell, it's not our home turf. We're coming to you from Jimmy's private studio in Hollywood, Cazador. Is it Cazador or Cazador?
Cazador.
Cazador
Hunter
recording.
in Spanish.
Oh, is that really?
That's right.
Okay. Cazador recording, and we're going to be taking a look at his studio in a few minutes. Jimmy is an amazing producer and songwriter and multi-instrumentalist and drummer, and he has played with some of the biggest names in the business and toured with them, and he's going to do a little playing with me, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So, and finally, the weather, we've been avoiding doing anything outdoors on Sunday mornings for a while now because it's been so bloody stinking stupid hot. But finally, we have a nice, I won't call it cool, but a nice, pleasant, comfortably warm morning here in the LA area, in Hollywood, to be outside by Jimmy's lovely pool. And
let's jump in there and do the music.
yeah, yeah.
Let's do Smoke on the Water.
So yeah, there you go. So I guess we should go ahead and open it up with a song. Jimmy is going to compliment me with some bongos, percussion,
Big bongo.
and big bongos. Yeah. This is a very old song of mine from my very first record, which was called "A Taste of Things to Come." And I think if I've played it here ever on a Sunday morning, I've only played it once. I'm gonna do it again for you right now. This is it seems appropriate for a Sunday morning. This is called "In Jesus' Name." that was fun.
Blisters on me fingers.
Yeah, I bet you do. That was some nice playing. We have never done that before, Jimmy and I, and that was fun for me. Thank you, sir. So, let's find out a little about you. You own Cazador Recording
Since
right here in
1986.
Since 1986,
Yeah.
cool. And you do, what instruments do you play besides drums?
Well, I started out on piano as a third grader and became a trumpet player when high school band started. Then I was a big guy. It's hard to believe that today, but I was a big guy and I became a tuba player around the 6th grade. And I stayed with the tuba till about my senior year. Then I moved to timpani in my senior year.
Uh-huh.
So they always needed a tuba player, so I could never be a drummer. I started playing drums when I was 14 when the Beatles came out.
Uh-huh.
So I was kind of doing tuba and drums, but they needed the tuba player in the school system. But on the side, I always had my little band, the Manchesters.
The
We
Manchesters.
did the Kinks and the Beatles and
Right.
the Beach Boys and Hang On Sloopy and
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dirty
yeah.
Water. All the songs in the late 60s.
It's funny, you and I had similar inspirations. When the Beatles came out, I wanted to play the drums because I saw Ringo sitting there looking all cool and all the girls fainting, you know, and I thought, man, that's for me, right?
Shaking his
And
mop top.
yeah, right. And so I told my parents, you know, I want to play drums, and they weren't having it. They said because they didn't want the noise, you know, and my dad said, you don't want to play drums because you can't take a set of drums out in a canoe and serenade your girlfriend. You want to play a guitar, an acoustic guitar. You can take it anywhere. And I said, no, I don't want to play a guitar. That's for wimps. You know, I want to play drums.
You could do a solo and make them shake their
Yeah,
drums, though.
yeah. So my dad, wise man that he was, told me. He said, I tell you what. He said, take just enough guitar lessons at our expense to learn how to play one song for us and you know, play us a song on the guitar. And if you do that and you still want to play drums, I'll take you to any music store you want and you can just pick out any drum set you want and I'll buy it for you.
Sounds like love.
And
for
I
me.
thought, man, piece of cake, you know. And when I went for that first guitar lesson, I told, of course, my father had probably already spoken to him, but I told the guy, I just want to learn how to play one song. Yeah, that's all I care about, because I'm going to get some drums. And the guitar teacher said, yeah, sure, that's cool. I'll teach you to play a song, but first, you know, before you can play a song, you got to learn how to play the notes.
And
And you got to play the
Rising
scale.
Sun.
And no, my very first song was Jingle Bells.
Oh, okay.
You know, ding, 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 right? So, and of course, I fell in love with the guitar. But I've always loved drums. I still do. So, but enough about me. More about you. So you started playing the drums back then. It kind of grew out of band, and you had those sort of '60s rock and roll bands.
Yeah.
And then, what was the? I know you've like been on the road with, you know, just about everybody. How did that start, and who have you traveled with? You know, give us some juice. What do you know?
Well, I got in a 9-piece horn band in Detroit called Justice Colt, and
Right.
the singer was Mitch Ryder's brother, Mark Ryder,
Cool.
and he was kind of a shy guy. He liked singing off stage. He didn't
Wow.
like singing in front of the people. We had this 9-piece horn band, and somehow we got to jam with Edgar Winter one day, and Edgar Winter was my idol, and I loved the White Trash Band, and then. We all liked having a horn band like he had, and eventually I got into the club scene, and I got into some bands that didn't have to play for the dance floor. There were more listening rooms, and that was like around 73 was my last dance band, and 74 more the concert lounges, and 75, and then one of my bandmates, Paul Warren came out here. He got in with Ray Manzarek. We did the Laurel Canyon thing. He called me I quit a band, and I came out here. That's Frijolito.
Ray Manzarek, for those of you who aren't keeping up, is from the Doors.
Yeah. Paul Warren, and Ray Manzarek brought me out here, and we started a band called Night City, and that stayed together in the 70s and 77. Into 77.
Cool.
And then,
So you toured with them.
yeah, and saw the country and did some nice gigs, and then the band eventually broke up. We lost our bass player, lost our singer. Then I got in with the Turtles, Mark and Howard.
Flo and Eddie,
Yeah, Mark Volman, Howard Kalin, and did a 77 tour with them. And then there was this one drummer, he's probably watching, Craig Cramp, he's in Nashville. He'd get gigs he was a little ahead of me in the scene, and every time he'd leave a gig, he said, call Jimmy Hunter, he could learn the show. So I learned the whole Flo and Eddie show in 2 days, and we were on the road. So it was pretty good. It was a pretty quick study. And then he left Nick Gilder, who had the biggest selling record in 1979, Hot Child of the City, and he moved on to the girl that had Betty Davis eyes, and he gave me that gig. So I kept getting these gigs from another drummer, and also the roadies from Night City were also in that Flo and Eddie band. So those guys helped recommend me, and I kind of, having a little. This town is like a name drop. If you play for somebody, you almost don't need to play that great. You might be able to get yourself at least an audition if you've got some background with somebody that's pretty reputable, like Ray was. He passed away a couple years ago,
right.
And I got to be thankful for everything that he opened up for me. He opened up a lot of doors for me.
But pump.
Yeah.
And now fast forward to the present. You not only have your own studio where you and I know in addition to the horns and stuff you mentioned that you also play bass and keyboards, of course.
I play limited keyboards and bass, but I do it piecemeal because I can do it to satisfy myself. I'm a hard guy to please, so it's just better. Ever since my bass player died, Bob Birch, I went to high school with. He was Elton John's bass player. Ever since he passed away, I just took up my bass and started doing it bar at a time. And I kind of know how to do it. I've got a funkiness from being a Detroit guy.
Right.
I kind of feel that bottom from being a tuba player. So it's just I'm just better off if I do my own bass. I dig it.
Yeah, well, when you do it well, and you didn't, you didn't seem that hard to please when I worked with you the other day. We did
I know what I
got
want.
a guitar track in here, and that was fun. So let's. You have your own studio here, and you do producing now for other people, right? People send you demos and stuff.
We're not kidding anybody. The music business has died down. Quincy Jones says it's dead, and the phone's not ringing like it used to. But I have one great client, Todd Stanford, and we're on our 4th country CD, and it takes almost a year to make a CD at the pace that I go. It's sort of methodical, and we're very, very picky about what we lay down.
And that was his song we did the other day,
that's
right?
the session you did on guitar. Yeah.
Well, why don't we go take a look at your studio?
You can.
And
welcome. Welcome to Cazador.
Lead the way. Hillary will follow us.
Come on in
with the camera.
Walk this way. Here's my brand and logo, Cazador Recording.
That was me almost falling.
That's all right. Well,
here we go. Inside. We're inside Cazador.
I'm going to turn this fan off so it's a little quieter. There the drums are, set up, ready to go. They're all mic'd up. And they're pretty cool. I can actually set the music about 16 bars ahead, and I can come out here before the music starts to start. So we can get into some drumming here. We're all set, ready to go. So,
you want to take us in the control room?
Sure. It's one of my favorite rooms because I love having control.
And there's air conditioning in there.
Yeah.
Turn on the lights a little bit. I got the old Soundcraft 800 board here, a wall of MIDI as Hillary's doing there. I got a KX88 weighted action keyboard. Beautiful set of Tannoy speakers. Can't lose. And a red hot rig of Pro Tools HD6, one of the more powerful rigs in town. Many of the studios only have HD2 or HD3, so this is HD6, very powerful set of Pro Tools. And that's basically it. I've been sitting in this room for a really long time, produced 5,000 songs in here. They're all on a hard drive. I got them all on a hard drive. 5,000 songs. Think about it. My goal someday is to drive across this great country of ours and listen to all those songs. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but that's my goal, and I hope it's realistic and attainable. So that's it. Look, you're there. And there's where John played his session last week. We still got the mic set up. He was playing here. And I captured him, and he did a great job for us. If you need some strumming, I highly recommend him.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So that's it.
And now for some more music.
Well, it's a beautiful studio, and I did find you to be. It's an easy place to work in, and you're an easy guy to work with.
Cool.
And now that we've seen that, and we've
some music.
We've heard you play some bongos on one of my tunes, but we haven't heard any of your tunes yet.
Yeah, we're going to do a song today, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So-
this is...
Did you want to talk about the book, Jim?
Yeah, I do. This is a song that I wrote with one of my collaborators. I do a lot of writing by myself, but I've written a couple, 2 or 3 songs now with this gentleman, Jimmy Steinfeld, the photographer. This is his new book. I'm going to pimp it for him. And it's filled with beautiful pictures of rock stars he's been shooting all over the years. And it's a great gift if you ever want. He has another new, smaller book out now. So he also plays guitar, and he came up with this idea. He had a verse and a couple of verses, and I said, well, let me write the bridge. So I wrote the bridge and the last verse. So it's a true collaboration, and we're going to do it for you today. And it's about this beautiful creation called the iPhone. So we'll see how it goes. I don't do this too often, but we'll give it a try. I'm not going to play the bongos and try to sing at the same time. So let's see if you can dig this song. It's got a song with a message.
Yes. Yes.
Matter of fact, I'm getting a message right now. Here. Good tempo. One, two. All right. Well, this world has changed, and that's for sure. It all seemed to happen while I was on tour. Digital this and cyber that, but don't you be touching my cowboy hat. My wife and kids are forever glued to their computer pads. Yeah, all this new stuff to me is unknown, and grandma just got herself an iPhone. Yeah, gasoline's up to a $5 bill. Gotta put her in neutral going down any hill. Folks dressed to the nines just to drive around, 'cause cameras are taking your pictures all over town. Have you noticed the cars all look the same today? And all this new stuff to me is unknown, and grandma just got herself an iPhone. Yeah, iPhone. Bridge full. Grandma, she's testing for kicks. Grandma, she's sending all kind of pics. Grandma, they got her hooked on this thing. She met someone on Facebook, now they're having a fling. You go, Grandma. Grandma's a cougar too. Now all this new technology is off the hook. Smartphone, BlackBerry, iBook. Shopping online is the latest rage. From the eBay site to the Amazon page. Google and Wiki and a bang, bang, banging. Enough to inspire this song I'm singing. Now this new stuff to iPhone. She got a 2-year plan. iPhone. I got my own special ringtone. iPhone. Grandma just got herself an iPhone. And that's the way that goes.
That's a cool song. I love it.
Well, Jimmy comes up with some great ideas. We call ourselves the Jimmies. And we're about ready to start a new song, and I'm excited to see him. I think he's probably watching us today. So, hi, Jimmy. Thanks for that, man.
So, I gotta ask you. Everybody's in the news lately. Perhaps you've heard there's a hurricane happening in Florida, and the Florida Keys, and really the whole state of Florida. And you hear people talking about, oh, what must it like to be there, and what about the people who evacuated, and what's going to happen to their homes, and what about the people who didn't evacuate? Are they going to live? But I can think of few things that would probably be more frustrating than actually owning property there but not being there, but living somewhere else in the country, and you're helpless to really know what's going on with your property. I know such a person. How you doing, buddy?
I have a house in Estero, Naples area, and it's being hit, barraged right now. And thank goodness that the people that are in there and caretaking it and living there and treating it with so much love, Jesus and Kaylon Martinez, and I bet they're watching right now. They're in Alabama, nice and safe. We hope it doesn't get leveled today. There's 100 rare and exotic fruit trees on the property, and I really don't lose. It was my father's place. His ashes are strewn underneath every trunk of the tree, so it's got a special place in my heart, and
I'm sure it does.
I just have to put my faith in. No, there's a spiritual way of looking at it. You can go locusts, fire, wars. Pick your calamity.
Yeah.
Pick your calamity. When it was all said and done, when the people put their faith in the right direction and stayed good with God, it came to pass every time. So you're going to hear that phrase a lot of places in this one book I know about. It says, and it came to pass. I'm expecting a perfect outworking. All I can do is put my best word forward. So God bless everybody in the path of that damn thing, and we hope that they all have a perfect outworking.
Amen. I couldn't agree more with every word you just said. And our thoughts and prayers are with all the people in the Southeast, and especially in Florida. I know some people down there too. I myself do not have any property down there, but I've been there many times, and it's a beautiful area, and I hope it survives. So I was just watching the news about it just before we came out here. And speaking of the news, one little bit of commentary I have to say, and this. I have seen this every time there's any kind of, almost all my life, as long as there's been TV, or TV news, I've seen them do this, and I think it's just the stupidest thing that people could possibly do. They get these newscasters. I'm all for showing pictures of, you have a hurricane or an earthquake or whatever. Set up cameras, mount them places, and so people can see what's happening. But the stupidest thing is they have these newscasters standing out there. You have these driving rains, and for days they've been saying, whatever you do, don't stay here. Get out of here. This is not a safe place to be. You will die if you're here. And then what do? They have a newscaster standing out there now for a live report from Miami, and they show a guy standing there with debris flying by him and rain hitting him in the face and going, oh yeah, it's really terrible here. Driving rain, high winds, and the guy's standing there. And he's making everybody else think that, well, if he could be there out in the rain and everything, that I could be. It doesn't seem to be hurting him. It's stupid.
Let's give him a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. So I actually saw somebody this morning. She said, I'm standing in front of a construction site. There's this big, tall building going up. And she said, heavy debris. Big, heavy debris has been falling in the street. And she walks over to it. She said, look at this right here. This big steel structure thing here just fell right here where I'm standing. Imagine if it had landed on someone. It could have killed them right here. And she's standing right. It's stupid.
One guy said, don't worry, the wind is blowing the other way. Hello,
Yeah.
It's a cyclone.
Yeah. It goes. So, anyway, enough about that.
Let's play some music.
Yeah, let's play some music. let's wrap this thing up.
This was fun. Thanks for having me.
I want to send this song out, especially to anybody who is impacted by the hurricane this morning, or anybody who knows anybody who might be. This is a song I've played here before, and it's one of my favorites by one of my favorite songwriters, Paul Simon. And once again,
I want to give you a Cazador hat.
oh yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely.
There you go. Got to
So-
get you in uniform.
There we go. So, should we call ourselves the Cazadors?
Cazadorians, yeah.
Cazadorians. All right. This is Paul Simon's song, "Boy in the Bubble." Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. We always encourage you to share every Sunday morning. That's how we grow. That's how we increase our audience. Is there anybody I've forgotten to say hi to, Hill?
So many people,
there's a whole lot of
have
people.
come, but you guys were talking about so many great things. Just say hi.
Usually, when I don't have a guest, especially, I have a little bit more direct chat back and forth with some of the folks.
John
watching.
Zepper, of course.
John, thank you for joining us, John and Julie.
Well, I want to thank Hillary for putting us together. I got a new
Yes.
musical friend, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. We're starting our own LA scene.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up in a minute, but this is a Paul Simon song, "Boy in the Bubble." It was a slow day. The sun was beating on the soldiers by the side of the road. There was a bright light, shattering of shop windows. The bomb in the baby carriage was wired to the rail. These are the days of miracle and wonder. This is a long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo. The way we look to us all. The way we look to a distant constellation that's dying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder. And don't cry, baby, don't cry. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, there was a dry wind that swept across the desert, curled into the circle of birth. Dead sand falling on the children and the mothers and the fathers and the automatic earth. Oh, these are the days of miracle and wonder. This is a long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo. The way we look to us all. The way we look to a distant constellation lying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder. Don't cry, baby, don't cry. Yeah. Don't cry. Yeah, well, it's a turnaround jump shot. It's everybody jump start. It's every generation throws a hero up the pop chart. Medicine is magical and magical is art. There go the boy and the bubble and the baby with a baboon heart. And I believe these are the days of lasers in the jungle. Lasers in the jungle somewhere. Staccato signals of constant information. Hallucination, millionaires and billionaires. And maybe these are the days of miracle and wonder. This is a long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo. The way we look to us all. The way we look to a distant constellation lying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder. And don't cry, baby, don't cry. Paul Simon, as performed by John M., and my special guest, Jimmy Hunter from Cazador Recording. Jimmy, thank you so much, man. Thanks for inviting us over to do this. Thank you to all of you for watching. I will answer your messages and your likes and all that shortly. And
he's good on that.
And respond to you
he's good on
personally. And of course, we will leave this video posted throughout the week, so you can watch it. Those of you who missed it can watch it later. Please feel free to tell your friends about it. Like it if you like it. Share it if you think it's worth sharing. We appreciate you. Everybody in Florida, God bless you and be safe. Hillary, any parting words?
Thanks so much for joining us today, and have a great week.
Voila!